there everyone, welcome back. So today is a little bit of a special video. You may remember recently I uploaded a video for my sim self and family, and while that house is not anywhere near what my house is right now that I live in, it's pretty representative of my lifestyle now. But this house here is a recreation, almost an exact duplicate of an old rental house that I used to live in as a single mom with 2 young children. Those children are now 20 and 25 and have given me a grandson, one of them has. But when we lived in this house, we were on our own, and I actually owned a cleaning company for many years. So I'm letting you know as my channel goes along a little bit more about my personal life here. But I loved this house. It was very simple and I was very proud of it. It was kind of run down when we moved into it, but it was all I could afford. So as I went along, as I lived in the house, I just made little improvements here and there because I knew I was going to be there long term. So it had a front entrance just like this. It had a chimney right here. It had a little white railed front porch there, although the front porch was raised up off the ground. And the windows are in the exact location. I had the same kind of trees that you see here. And the inside, if I had to put a percentage on this, on the house as a whole, I'm going to say 99% accurate. Of course, with the game, the furniture is going to be a little bit different and things like that. But otherwise, it's 99% accurate. So you came in the front door here, and they had that old wood paneling on the wall. But before I moved in, they painted it this color exactly. And it looked beautiful, actually. It looked nice and fresh. I had a rug that looked very similar. The sofas are very similar. I did have sort of like a wall hanging that was almost like that. It just had a little bit more colors in it and some end tables there. And then the fireplace was right here. It had a little bit darker of a gray stone on it, but I had a mirror that was a circular mirror hanging above. I did have candlesticks on top. And the TV wasn't exactly like this. It was more of on a straight TV stand. And of course, we didn't have flat screens then, but it was angled in the corner there. That was the only place to put it. So over here is the larger sofa. And I did have some artwork that was a little bit like that, a little bit more modern. And I also had a bookshelf just in that spot. So that's exactly what my living room looked like. Let's see. Let's go through here into the dining area, and this is so similar as well. I had a cabinet that looked almost like this, and we did have the fish tank there in the corner. I had a fish tank for the kids. I had nowhere else to put it, and I actually had a candle holder that looked just like that, only there were 3 of them instead of 2. The table is almost exact. The chairs were more squared off instead of curved, but I did have a little dining set that look very similar to this as well. And there, of course, like I said, is the fish tank for my kids. So the next room that we're going to go into is the kitchen. And I want you to keep in mind, when I moved in, the kitchen did not look like this as far as the floor goes. It was really terrible when I moved in, the floor was. But I found a flooring store that had a deal on those linoleum squares. And I'm telling you, this is almost a dead match for those linoleum squares. And I bought a bunch of those, and I actually redid the kitchen and bath floor like that. Now, the cabinets are pretty similar. They were a light wood. I had the older, regular-looking stove, an older stove hood. The kitchen sink was white, not black. But I did have an older black toaster, and the coffee maker looks just like my old Javalia coffee maker. Over here was the fridge and some more cabinets. That's where I had my microwave, and that, instead of being a food processor, that's where I kept my blender. You see a door there, and I'll explain that in just a minute, but I did have an eat-in area there as well where you saw the gray chairs and the light-colored table. And then in here was a little laundry room, and it did have a shelf just right there, and that's where I put all of my pantry items because there really wasn't a lot of storage in the kitchen itself. There's also a back door that goes out to a patio, and it was a screen door just like I've put in this house. So that's this side of the house here. It was a pretty small house, but it fit us perfectly. So back through the living room, and there's a doorway here. And the first room we're going to come to on the left here was what I used as my son's room. It wasn't technically supposed to be a bedroom. I think it was probably supposed to be like a den. It had a door to the kitchen. So when I looked at the house, I thought, how perfect. He was a preteen boy. He can just go in and out of the kitchen. Right there's the fridge as he pleases. So I gave him that room, and he really didn't need a closet anyway. He kept all of his clothes in the dresser. He did have a study desk right there, and he also had a TV here with, I can't remember what game system he was using at the time. Of course, he didn't have a flat screen TV at that time, but that looks pretty similar to what he had, and he had his twin bed over there as well. And the next room that we're going to come to is the bathroom. So there was a tub and shower combo here, and my shower curtain was actually similar colors to that. There's the toilet, and then the vanity was very similar as well. It had that sort of fake wicker on the front of the drawers. That's what came with the house. And again, I redid the floors in here, and I actually made the bathroom look really nice. I didn't have anywhere to store my makeup though, because there was no linen closet, so the towels had to go in the bathroom cabinets, as well as some of the kids' items. So I bought a couple of tables at Target there, and they worked out great for my makeup and, just personal items to put there. So back through this little hallway here, we're going to come into my daughter's room. She was very little and then into almost preteen age by the time we moved out, but I did it the way it was when she was little. And oh my goodness, I didn't think I was going to cry during one of my videos. But, she's grown now and she's given me my first grandson. But this is just like her room. She always was making drawings and putting them on the wall. She had her little kitchen there and her little bed, and she did have a ballerina lamp and her dollhouse. And this just looks so much like her room. She had her little jewelry box there, and she even had a calendar by the door. And it looks like where she was. So sorry if I'm getting a little bit emotional, but that's just the way it is. So let's move on. She had a little closet there, and then you come back out into the hallway and you come into what my bedroom used to be. And when I moved in here, I was kind of confused as to why they had put the cable outlet under the front window. So that left me to put the bed here against this window, and it looks very similar. It was a little bit darker of a wood, but my bedspread was white. I had gold pillows. I had a little gold blanket that I would throw over the bed just like that. I put this orchid here. It wasn't there because after I moved out of this house, that's when I met my now husband, who I've been married to for years, and we've had a lot of kids since, but that was the first plant that he ever bought me. On our second date, he brought me an orchid. So I wanted to include that in this house because that was my future after this house. Man, this is really getting emotional. So this is where I had my desk. Of course, it didn't look exactly like this. This was a long time ago. I had my big computer shoved up underneath the big computer unit and the huge screen on the desk, but I ran my home business from there for a long time. And then I had my closet right here. It did have a couple of little cabinets in it where I hung my clothes, and then that's also where I stored my vacuum and my suitcase. So I tried to include everything that I had in my closet in there. So that's the layout, and I guess I wanted to share this because for some reason this house was on my mind. And I think it's just because I really miss my older kids being small. And this is what the patio looks like back here. Of course, I still have small children at home. I'm still raising children, but I really miss my adult children being small. And I think it just made me think of this house, and I thought, what a wonderful layout this would be, for someone to use. So why not share it? And that's what I've done here today. It was a great layout for a house. It still is, and I actually miss the house. So I wanted to share it. Let's look at it from this angle, and you can see where everything was. Here is the front entrance here, and the little porch, and here's the living room, exactly how I had it arranged, and the dining area as well, with our fish tank, and then the kitchen with the little eating area there. That's where we really ate most of our meals, was there, and the laundry and little pantry, and my son's room, which also has a door to the kitchen, the little hallway here, and the bathroom. And then next we'll look at my daughter's room, and she had her little closet over there on the side of the house. And then you come right there, you'll see the master closet, which is attached to the master bedroom. And that's how I had all of my furniture. And I want to apologize for getting so emotional on this video. You guys have, a lot of you have been with me for a long time, and I don't really get emotional on videos. But again, this house was on my mind, and it's not a sadness, it's just more of a, I miss that time in my life, even though I love my life now and I have all these other children that I love. You just, when you get older and your kids get older, you'll realize what I'm talking about if you're not there yet. And this house really meant a lot to me, so I wanted to share it with you. And I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you did, please feel free to hit that like button or leave me a comment. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.